All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in a class forum context so that we will focus as much as we can and listen as much as we can. The ground rules, I think they are in force as we've been announced and explained to. And our bossa should keep record of those who break rules so that the money will be collected, including me. If I break rule, put my name down and I will pay the money, including whether it's in dollars, in euro, that you want me to pay my own, I will pay it. You don't, you don't have. If you don't have, then you don't break any rule. That is the rule for that. It's all right. Okay. Uh, it's very interesting how this retreat has taken off. I'll be very well helped and very well informed. And I'm sure that a number of us, if not all of us, have also be very well informed with all the various goodwill messages, the opening address from the chairman of the governing board, and then, of course, the honorable commissioner represented by the permanent secretary. Let me follow the same principle to let us know this is an examination. There is no examination after the retreat. The idea, as far as I'm concerned, is that um, is for us to think together, not necessarily brainstorming, but to think together. We have diverse experiences. The theme presupposes that something good is already happening. That is why we are talking about strengthening. Results are visible. You can hear it from one of the testimonies that somebody said, as an entrepreneur, he's engaged quite a number of employees, and that amongst all those engaged, that those from the college have risen above all others performance and many other indicators that he may have used. So that shows that something good and impressive has been happening in the college. So the concept of strengthening is very clear that it's not about uh, there is nothing. No, there is something. We are always saying we can do more. Let's strive further, showing that you know something already, you are doing something already, and that something is bringing expected results. We want to build on that. We want to discuss from perspective, from every point, what we think. The document you have in front of you is not analysis of your college. It's a prototype. It's what we call simulation, right? You simulate. Those in research, we know that you simulate what an environment is, and then those who are in that environment can now tell you this is the reality of the environment. Do you understand it? Do you get the point now? So what you have is not a perfect document of what the college is. So we call it talking point, discussion points. Is that right? It's very possible as you scan through the document, you say, oh, this is wrong, this is right. You are correct. But when we get to that discussion point, put it in the right perspective so that everybody will be properly informed, educated, and well prepared to improve or raise the standard of performance from where we have found it already. Is that all right? So it's going to be a conversational process. It's not me coming to teach you what you don't know. So it's to put issues in front of us and let's have, even though this is not a round table, it's like a square table conversation. I prefer a round table situation. I will have a round table conversation. This is what it is, whether from the perspective of regulations, rules, or standard practice that you know. Then we put it in front of us. Now, also remember, ladies and gentlemen, that what will happen to all of us these 3 days is not just about the college, it's about you and myself. Somebody mentioned it. The capacity you are going to build, in addition to what you have already, will go beyond your stay in this college. Even when you do retire, opportunities will come. Is that right? And when those opportunities come, you will not have to be scrambling how to take advantage of those opportunities. And of course, you also remember that your life did not begin. I don't think it will end with the college. That's my very simple understanding. Even when you think you are retiring, there is still more left in you. As long as you are breathing, your existence itself is a pointer to the fact that you have so much to offer. Is that right? So please, let's relax ourselves. Let's not take the position of this thing is not like that. That will even be better if you can explain it that this is not like this. This is what it should be. So that proper direction can be understood by every one of us. So that we make appropriate, relevant contribution in keeping up the good work you are doing in the college. It's actually to encourage you. That is why. At my level, I spent quite some years in the university system. Can I tell you, sir, I learn every day. Post professorship have published more than what made me a professor. Because if it's academics, there's no limit to learning. I unlearn and I learn. Is that all right? So please, let's understand it that way. So that let it not be as if we are setting up, they are setting you up, and then you're also setting yourself up how you will defend. No, it's not about defense. It's about putting your understanding in front of all of us. Let's tap from it. Let's receive the experience you have over the years. And it's even possible that you may not have an opportunity to express it, even though you know something. It's possible. You have the opportunity now. Because it's very possible you may have seen a few things that are being done. They may not have been done well the way you think they do, based on your wisdom, based on your experience, based on your knowledge. This is an opportunity for us to share our thoughts, our feelings, and then the little that we know, it will build all of us. That is why the theme is very important. Strengthening leadership, professionalism, and service delivery for quality nursing and midwifery education, first and foremost, in NASARAWA State. Is that all right? And you know, NASARAWA State interacts with other states of the Federation. NASARAWA State interact and interfaces with the globe. It is surprising that many of your students are in the US, in the UK, at the beginning of their journey. Where is it? Where did it start from? In front of you. So this is why it's important that whatever we do is going to put you on the global stage. Credit will always come to you. So this is the essence of our gathering, so that we don't take it otherwise. So in this module, we'll take a look at the vision and framework. Please take note. It's simulation. Is that all right? It's simulation. When we say simulation, well, it's not real, but I'm putting something in front of you that will enable you to check, to ask questions. What is the vision of this college? What is the framework within which the college was established? And then we'll also take a look at the institutional mandate, the goals. And then within that context, we simulate for us what we call key performance indicators. And then we take a reevaluation and operationalization of the organogram and the administrative structure of the college as an institution, focusing on the administrative hierarchy and then official communication processes. Now, None of this is strange to anyone here. The reason is because we want to reinforce them. Are we together? We want to wake ourselves up again that this is what uh, it is in the college. These are processes. And then we cross check if the established processes, we have been able to follow them. If we are not, then we try to see how we can encourage ourselves to take a step to following those processes. Now, in recent times, I've discovered that even within the university system, issues of hierarchy are beginning to, the lines are beginning to fade out, right? Issues of seniority that defines respect, they are beginning to also fade out. And we need to redraw those lines. Because if you don't draw those lines, the emphasis on character will not be achieved. Are we together? Because we generally believe give honor to whom honor is due, give respect to whom respect is due. This is what builds character. This is what strengthens character. This is what builds integrity. This is what helps you in a way that when you have power, you are not likely going to abuse it. Even if you abuse it, it will be self corrective. Are we together? It's often said that if you give a man absolute power, they say absolute power corrupts absolute. That statement came in the days of emperors. Because in the days of emperors, life and death was in what they say. Once they have spoken, they have spoken. By their word, you either live or die. So that is not the point. You see, institution is set up in a way that there are clear organic interactions between every strata within that institution. And then you have hierarchy clearly defined that enables an understanding of official communication processes. So that when something goes wrong, it will be easy to trace it and then to correct it. Correction does not have to be punitive. What do you mean of punitive? You don't have to punish first. Correction can be to encourage. Correction can be to provide incentive structure to enable the person have the desire and delight to do what he or she is supposed to do. So this is the essence of this first module. So vision deals with, you have the, can I see the projection, please? I put it in front of you so that you can follow the narrative. Is that all right? And I avoided PowerPoint system because PowerPoint system is perspective based. But you have the complete narrative so that you can think about it critically, have a chance to criticize it, have a chance to put your thoughts before every participant. Are we together? So, vision deals with the driving foresight behind a defined purpose. So, we said it's the primary focus or reason d'etat for the existence of an entity. So, it is the roadmap that provides direction for all actions and activities of an institution or organization. While framework deals with principles, practices, means, and lay down processes and procedures. Then this is how I simulated the overall vision of your college. I didn't copy it from anywhere. I didn't ask him to give it to me. Being that we are colleagues in education, right? It's a lot easier for me to simulate it. Are we together? Okay, so now when I put it in front of you, then you go back to your establishment papers to cross-check if you can simulate the vision from that paper by yourself. Because if you cannot, it will be difficult for you to pursue the core mandate of the college adequately. Let me also give it to all of us that you see, each person has a perspective. Even when you have a vision in front of you, what is the perspective? You see, the psychology of your life can affect your understanding of that vision. Your personal principles can also affect that vision. If, for example, now we set okay, the rules that have been set for us, for example, one, coming on time. To you, coming on time may not mean anything as long as the purpose is achieved. Did you get it? Even if you come late, but you achieve the purpose, for you, coming late doesn't mean anything. But you see, coming late is number one problem you are going to have when you are dealing with integrity. When you are going to be dealing with self control, if you are not able to manage time, you are going to have problem. Your capacity to appreciate the set rules begins with the choice to be available as at when due. Then let me also tell you one very small secret. See, the moment you submit an application to anywhere and then you are engaged, the first thing they should do is to give you terms of engagement. And you will come to work at 8 o'clock, you will close by 4, for example. Now, between 8 and 4, you have sold your time. Is that right? For all the working days, as approved by government and also accepted by the organization, you have sold your time. That time from 8 o'clock to 4 p.m. belongs to that organization. So you cannot do what you like between that 8 and 4. And that is what learning to come to whatever responsibility on time will save you from, first and foremost. Because if you don't mind that your own is to come and do what you are asked to do, in places where there is proper assessment, I know around there is this thing they call upper form. Abi, sorry to say this. It's very rare for you to find somebody who will fill it for, who will sign it for you truthfully. True of us. It's very, even you, even when you are signing, your heart is paining you. And you will tell the person, if I'm to sign it the way I think, I will sign this paper. Then sometimes you even put it aside. Say, go and come back. And you are trying to adjust your heart. Abi, you adjust your heart. You adjust your heart. You adjust your heart until you just grudgingly, you may even forget part of your signature to add it. Say carry it like that. Now, all of that is showing you that even, let me tell you, even the most difficult person who doesn't care has this pain inside of his or her heart. It's just to emphasize to you that once you are engaged, between 8 and 4, you have sold your time. That time does not belong to you again. Deputy Provost. The chairman knows what we are talking about. Sir, with your experience, true of us. Some very wonderful places will tell you, okay, go and study these terms and conditions of service. And then they will give you what they call acceptance form. That you don't sign until, because we are in a hurry. We like the job. We are already, you will just sign. Then you put the date. Say, I don't need to go and read. Say, are you sure? You say, I'm very ready. The same way typical Nigerians don't read terms and conditions. For example, now, when MTN wants to give you bonus, the terms and conditions, they are so tiny you can't read them. They will just put T and C apply. But you see, because your mind is focused on the bonus, you just click. Only for you to realize it's more expensive than buy the direct credit. But you will not know. But your mindset is on the bonus, is something free. Yes, madam, that's the correct name. Aouf. And Nigerians normally say, Aouf, they do what? They run belle. So, so please, this is the reason why I wanted us to take this approach. Take a look at the vision, the framework of the college, and then take a look at the institutional mandate, the goals. And as time permits us, we look at the key performance indications, or indicators rather. Then training and equipping of nurses and midwives with requisite knowledge and capacity can that can compete in the global health space. This is my own simulation. Is that all right? So I've told you I didn't receive any document. But since we are all colleagues, it's not difficult to put this down. There's nothing magical here. It's something you already know, right? It's something you are likely going to find in a different form, stated in a different form in your mandate, as it were, the core objectives of the college. Then, how did I try to aggregate the institutional mandate and goal? First of all, a mandate is an official order, a clear command, or a legal power to do something. It could be an instruction or permission given by a higher authority. And take note, ladies and gentlemen, mandate derives from vision. Is that all right? Mandate derives from vision. Now, the mandate, in the way I perceive it, is training and equipping of nurses and midwives. Then I also simulated what I call a mission statement. I will try to explain to you the difference between vision and mission. Even though the thin line is very, very small, but there's a slight difference. The mission statement is to provide cutting edge training of nurses. Cutting edge means up to date, most current, right? Anywhere in the world, they can compete. Any task that any nurse or midwife anywhere on earth, that your outcomes can not only do them creditably. And then we said an allied health officers for the state and then the global health market as a important framework. So you will see that people who desire you to always remember, they will ask you to place the vision and mission statements at every nook and cranny of an institution. So that when you are taking a decision, you will read these two statements. When you are getting frustrated, you will read these two statements. When you are choosing a path of action, you will read these two statements. And you will ask yourself, this course of action I'm choosing, is it consistent with the mandate of my institution? Because many times people have crisis with institution because they have forgotten the mandate. And if they do remember, they do not want to follow the process that has been laid down to pursue that mandate. You get it? They may find the process too cumbersome. If I have to, I'll come back to explain to you my understanding of nursing science and the medical professor generally. I normally tell my wife, you see, after God, the next person is those in the medical profession, especially two of them, the doctor and the nurse. They can give you hope to live, and they can also make you to die hopefully. No, I'm just telling you, they can make you to die with hope. Huh? And they can also give you the will to live. That is why they are training. Let me inform you. Sorry to say this. I'm not preaching to you, but I think they are training. Those of you that are training them. If you believe in God, they can ask you questions. Because let me tell you, after God, I can guarantee you, personally, that's my point of view. That is why this job that you are involved in, if you are be reducing yourself to as an ordinary tutor, you use yourself to say, I'm only earning a living. Let me inform you. You didn't come here just to earn a living. The capacity to change society rests in your hand. Huh? I hope you know your action can stop a child from dying. Did you get that? And then your inaction can lead to the death of a child. Supposing that child was the president, and then somehow you get somewhere, and then the child that died because of our choices, then you saw the picture like this. Just look at behind you. Say those who are supposed to be presidents who never became, and they put the reasons why under. Then you see your name as part of those who contributed. So this is my personal. Fortunately, I didn't have capacity to do nursing or medicine. You're laughing at him, man. I'm just telling you the truth. I couldn't pass chemistry. I couldn't pass physics, especially chemistry. Chemistry carries all those terrible. I call them terrible C's. There's C. If they say they will leave the C alone, that would be good. They will put plus on top of it, and then the plus will carry something else. Now I'm asking them, how do they expect me to remember? And then if you go and write your normal C, they say it's zero. That's what made me to leave chemistry alone. But you see, so some of you, God has given you such privilege, opportunity, right? To have some level of memories. I just want to bring your mind to the reason why this is important for all of us. So that if you are thinking you are just ordinary, then you have underrated yourself unnecessarily. And this is why we are talking about integrity. We are talking about mission. We are talking about vision. So, how will the institution know that a particular mandate is being achieved? As far as an academic institution is concerned, relevant indicators may include student completion and retention, teaching quality, research publications, staff development, student satisfaction, revenue performance, and community engagement. I will only talk about that last one, community engagement, for now, just to highlight it. The relevance of your school is the capacity you put in the students who are graduating from and serve. Eh? They may not serve freely, they could be paid. But normally, the services of a nurse, a midwife, and a doctor usually exceed the payment value. As we were driving down to this place, we heard that one of our friends, his wife, went to the hospital and somebody told her that this is forced labor. This was supposed to be her third delivery. That was forced labor, they should go back. So they went back home. By the time the labor now came forcefully, it was the care that we were able to get to the hospital. And then the child was born but died immediately. Now, did you see your reaction? That is the last thing you want to hear. And you can imagine if you're a midwife. So you see that sometimes not only your skills, your personality is critical. Now, when we're analyzing that, we're saying, okay, could it be that the midwives or the nurses were inexperienced? My wife also happened to be in pharmacy. So she was saying it's very possible that they were young people. Not just young people, it's also very possible that they were not formally trained. Please, are you following us small, small? And you can see the consequences. The reason why, when we say strengthening, right? And we are talking about professionalism. So if they were your products, for example, and you hear that, okay, you have to take delivery, and there's a way you will ask a question and they will tell you the truth and they will not tell us because they know that you have understood what may have happened. And then you found out that either they didn't implement or they didn't know what they are supposed to do. This is the reason why we're discussing KPI. And that is the essence of community engagement. That the product you will put outside there will deliver the service for which they have been trained. This is very, very important for all of us, please. The point we are making is that an indicator should measure something that contributes meaningfully to the institution's mandate, vision, objective, rather than simply producing a number or a report. What are the approaches you need to understand with respect to KPIs? Number one is strategic planning and strategic thinking. Sorry, it will surprise you that you see, we develop these modules in a narrative fashion. Is that all right? So that as you read yourself, your experience you would understand what we have just said. Is that okay? I'm only formalizing it so that it can be engaging. Are we together? You could have given this, okay, just go home and read. But we want to engage our intellect. We want a situation where you can raise issues with comments made, right? With comments made. So that you have a liberty and latitude to critique and say, no, this is a wider dimension we need to understand. So as we speak, don't wait for question and answer. You can say, excuse me, sir, can I contribute here? Can I ask questions here? Can I give a better clarification? That is the engagement we are talking about. Are we together, ma and sirs? Provost, we will soon collect your money because they say no side discussion. I don't know whether the boss has the capacity to collect your. So we'll tell the chairman to collect. Okay, strategic planning and strategic thinking. Such planning gives an institution a clear sense of direction. It helps management to decide what the institution should accomplish, the resources required, the people responsible, and the period within which results are expected. That's what makes it strategic. You have clearly defined action path. When this should be done, who is responsible? We cannot say we are going to do this. That's not strategic. Somebody must be clearly responsible who has the requisite capacity. Is that right? A timeline has to be set. I know it's very difficult for human beings once you set timelines. And there are certain human beings, only when you set timeline they can perform. Like me, as a student, I don't know how to read until I see timetable. Once, once I see, I can be struggling with stopping so many activities. The moment you put timetable out, everything will find his place. No matter what, even sleep will stop. You know, when I try to read, when there's no timetable, I will be hitting my head, but the moment timetable is there, exam is starting on the 12th of September. Once I hear it and I see the way the courses are structured, and you can imagine putting chemistry, physics, mathematics, there is none of you will sleep again. If even if the sleep is worrying you, you will do something about it. I remember that there was a night I had to put my leg inside the warm water. I'm not joking, man. And they gave me what type of cola. Say I should eat it. When the cola was not working, they brought me Nescafe. What are you talking? That sleep disappeared for 3 days. 3 days. So, no, we are saying this because when you are going to strengthen a process, you need to have this kind of understanding that somebody has to be identified who will be responsible. Is that all right? Who will have a timeline. Are we together? And who must have a supervisor who knows how to sit on the matter until you deliver. All of you have been supervised for when you are doing they supervised you. Abi? One thing I didn't like seeing is red biro. Do you remember? When you submit your project, you submit. You go back up and pray that God should not allow him to see anything. And you are praying against yourself because you you will not be taught, you will not be instructed. So once I collect back, I'll be looking for where there is red bar. I'll just be flipping through, checking one day. When my supervisor gave me my work back, after I collected the file, he handed over me 13 pages of foolscap sheet of red biro. Red biro, red. Now, well, our time is going, but let me still tell you the story. That particular day, felt I was being delayed, so I told my wife to follow me. Let's go there so that I can introduce my wife to him for him to know that I'm married. I need to finish that I need to finish this this work and go and look for work. So I brought my wife. That was the day they gave me these 13 pages. Yes. Before he gave me, I didn't even have mouth to say this is my wife again. The man was the one I knew. He said, okay, I can see. Madam, you are his wife. She said, yes, okay, tell your husband to work hard. Now, did you? Now, I came expecting understanding. Abi, I came with a strategy to come and beg. And that is what a man who can sit on somebody to get a result. That is what a woman. In fact, women do it better than men. They know do look at your face. And when they give you, say, now leave. Go and read that thing first before you come back. That is how the women behave. Now, that's what we are dealing with here. When you want to strengthen a process, some of these things will show up, right? I'm sure your encounters with your students. I hope you know all of you have different names as far as students are concerned. Now, I know my own name, I will tell you, but so 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 I'm only saying this for you to know that some is likely going to be sitting on you to produce your best. And sometimes your best comes out when you're under pressure. Can I say to you, some of the best papers that got good recommendations, they were the ones I least expected because they were done under pressure. What brought the pressure? Deadline. What brought the pressure? Say, "Kai." They will say, this one is professor. I will shake my head, shake my head, shake my head, shake my head. Something will drop. Now, this is likely going to happen. I want all of you to prepare yourself for it, including the I think who called him capacity provost that time. You know they're giving you a name you are going to suffer for. You know, you know they give you that kind of name. It will squeeze you to perform, whether you like it. We also clap for you. It's on record. So, colleagues, strategic means there is a need for a decision that will enable the institution to know what to accomplish, the resources required to accomplish it, the personnel that will be responsible, and then the period within which results are expected. Strategic thinking, it goes beyond just providing an institution with a clear sense of direction. It requires leaders and employees to examine the environment in which they operate, anticipate changes, and consider how present decisions may affect future. Then in practice, the two should work together. That is strategic thinking and planning. They should work together instead of, people generally treat them separately, but they can never be separated, generally speaking. Once you are planning strategy, is a result of thinking. No plan can be on paper if you have not thought. One of my leading professors, who was my supervisor, told me, say, whatever plan you have, whatever thought you have that you cannot put on paper, you will never accomplish it. Says until you can put it on paper, you can write it down. That is how strategic thinking gives back to strategic planning. Then there's a principle I often uh, explain, even though I would like to say to you that planning and thinking that are considered as strategic requires that the principal officers, right, in this case of the college, the provost, the deans, the HODs, and then the unit leads, there's a need for them to take into account competitors and rivals. Huh? Do you know you are not the only nursing college in this state? You have competing private institutions. You have competing states that are around you, Abi, that can attract even those who are supposed to be students. Huh? So that is why when you are thinking, what makes it strategic is to know that you have competitors, to know you have rivals. Is that all right? So that if you are treating students, you must understand they have somewhere they can go. Are we together? And then the management should also know that if you treat your teachers, your lecturers, I want you to know that there are competitors who can collect them from you. And you will suffer great loss because you have built experience for them over the years. And when they go, they become kings where they are. That's a fact. That you see, somebody say, okay, I'm a nurse educator, so to say. And for you, general rank. Hmm? And then you are joking with the person. Say, who are you? Who are you? And then you must remember that if that person has spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years with you, the person has built capacity and experience. The day he or she steps out for whatever reason and goes to your competitors have a name, have a way of creating names and titles. I'd like you to listen very carefully. They have a way of creating names and titles for those who are titleless somewhere, so that when you are coming, psychologically you have a space as far as they are concerned. And then they collect your experience you have used resources over the years to build. That is why you cannot afford not to do strategic thinking. So that when something happens, it's normally said, you see, don't throw away the water with the baby. Abi, collect baby first. You can throw the water away. That is strategic thinking. You must remember you have a competitor. But even at your individual level, but as an institution, you must make it a focal point that you cannot decide. Now, in the field of economics, yes, in the field of economics generally, you we have what we call the rival behavior of firms that forces one firm. If you are deciding how much you are going to charge, you can't decide it alone. You must factor into it the decision your rival is going to make. For example, if you are the producer of this Five Alive, you plan that, okay, I want to increase to 1,000 naira. You're not the only one who is making it, right? Yours is called Five Alive. The other one is called 10 Alive. That one is called Three Alive. The same product, right? So if you're that kind of a market and you want to charge higher prices, you must reason, how will the other makers respond? Do they have the capacity to also charge higher prices? If they do, it then means that, number one, those who are buying first of all, those who are buying your product, right, can change to their product if they have not increased. But if you factor that they're going to raise their price as well as you also must check by how much can they increase. And price increase is a result of checking the cost of production. Are we together? And then checking what they call consumer choices, what informs their choice. You see, Three Alive could be better than Five Alive. But because Five Alive has been seen to have made name, it's like the difference between Coca-Cola and Pepsi Cola. For many of you, if they give somebody Coke and they come and give you Pepsi, you ask the person, say, which offense did I commit? That you look me so, his Pepsi, yeah, giving me. What's the difference? He's psychological. Do you get the point? Okay. We also have this Aquafina. We've trusted it so much, isn't it? But if they bring pure water here now, and they put and they put sachet water here and put this one there, which one will you collect? Will you even think twice? Why? Why? It's not first packaging. No, it's not about the packaging. No, it's about your status. Because it's, it's your status you will check first. Because listen, you see in Nigeria, sachet water is meant for those who are poor. This one is meant for those not only rich, but they have style. Before you come to packaging, and you'll be sure that that sachet water can be better than this. But you don't care as long as it's bottled water. Sometimes when you finish, you go and put sachet water inside and be carrying it. and you and you you'll be moving up and down as if now I'm only telling you that listen, you see when we come to strategic thinking and planning, you must factor in your competitors' response to your choices. Did you get it? Now, this is to dovetail into how you treat your students, how you treat yourselves as colleagues, how the management react to challenges that we have in the college. This is very, very important. Is that all right? You know, it was said here just now that experience is not available in the market for sale. Is that okay? Am I correct, sir? All those your field workers, you know who is who. You know who is who. And when they bring you result without going anywhere, you know that this one is fake. Our elders will tell you that, you see, when you are sitting down here now, you are seeing something. That if the small child climbs the roof of this building, he can even carry a telescope. There's something that will block that telescope. It's called what? Experience. So this is very. I have been in the department where they sacked up to 10, 12 of our colleagues. And it took us more than 15 years to recover. Others were brought who were acting smarter. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, experience is not for sale. Why did I say it took us 50 years? It took us 50 years to take those same people through the process, and the damages were incalculable. That's why you should be very strategic. Is that all right? Please, this is important. And then we also deal with best practices. Now, one of my senior professors told me, say, look, there's no best practice anywhere in the world. And I agreed with him. But now says, sir, while I agree with you, best practice may not necessarily be the standard of the world, but what the circumstance demands, the best option. Did you get me? Okay, it's like now, if women here are told that there is one medicine, once you take it, you will have no labor pains again. You will just deliver like you went to toilet. Any woman here who refuse it? Answer me now, ma. Is there any woman that you know who will say I will not take it? It's not likely. Huh? They pay for it in the hospital. If it's available, go. Then you come and say, no, 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 no. I don't like that kind of a thing. I like to hear and tell all the lies that never existed. And when they are reminding you, say, cannot be me. Now, then listen. Now, listen. We are dealing with AI now. Have we? AI. AI can give you any solution to any problem. And there's the debate as to whether we should allow it or disallow it. My answers are normally two: yes and no. Yes, because AI's answer can give you a starting point, and then you can modify given your peculiar situations. Is that all right? No, because when you deliver, when you give you AI answer and you just carry and submit, that is why in all my practice as a teacher, I don't ask you questions you are going to memorize to deliver to me. I ask you questions that will make you to think. That is why, for me, I normally tell students, if you are in my class, you cannot fail. But if you are not there, it is not possible to pass. So that you can think. Because if there are one, two, three, four, five ways of taking deliveries, for example, and you are not in class, those one, two, three, four, five were taught. Eh? And they ask you, okay, list the five ways of taking delivery. Then you listed 10. And all the 10, none of them contain the five. Even if the five, listen, in science, even if the five that you wrote, they are inside the 10. But how many did you teach? Five. So where did the other? Because if you mark it as correct, it means any of the options is correct. And there are only five options. Supposing the day of decision making, the person chose one outside the five. That is the essence of best practice. It sets the boundary. Is that okay? He gives you a framework that enables you to evaluate whatever options that you have. And I later went back to my senior professor. I said, sir, this is my thinking. He said, yes, that is why knowledge, as it were, has no boundary. As society develops, as people grow, you find that you have modifications and changes to all the options available. Please, who is taking time for me? It's supposed to be 1 hour, 30 minutes. How much time have we spent? Chairman, sir, kindly appoint a timekeeper for us. The one collecting money also. Okay, please. Check if you can remember when we started. Now, the reason why time is important is that there's a not all of us don't have the same absorptive capacity. And from our teaching profession, if one person is not following, stop the lecture. Is that all right? In teaching psychology, if one person is no longer following the teaching and you're able to find out the person, I actually told him, I said, look, as soon as all those beautiful speeches were made, I told him, let's go tea break. He checked. Well, that is why you found it difficult to organize us. You see, now, this is part of strengthening. Is that okay? You see, it's a very serious part of strengthening. Because, you see, I wish we'll get to incentive structure. Incentive structure. Part of it is that when you see a program, you can see some short breaks. It allows you to organize your mind. Then, if you are the kind whose tensile strength for comprehension is short, you become excited. But when you see 4 hours before they start, you're already off. Say what you say, you never do, you never do. That's what your mind. That is what your mind is saying. But he said tea break was not ready. He was looking at yes, and she said it's not time to disburse tea. But check. Once it's 1.5 hours, guess when I started? Then you just raise your hand. I will stop there. Is that okay? Even if I stop, I've given you a leeway to understand what is documented since you are in the academics. Is that okay? Are we together, librarian? I'm sure you keep record of this very well. Okay. So, smarter ways of doing things, time saving, cost effectiveness. Interrogate all the options that are available, set goals, set targets, and design a path to achieve those set goals. Cost effectiveness is very, very important. Huh? There is nowhere it's not discussed today. There is nowhere. Even in your house, cost effectiveness is a daily matter. Hmm? You know, today is what date now? 20th. All your money has finished. Salary they paid you. Abi? In fact, I finished before today. So, and you see, and this month is a very terrible month. August is very long. I'm telling you, when you wake up, you check date. Say, hi. And then you just there's no guarantee now this government will pay you at the end of the month or that same day you are expecting, right? Now, you know, it forces you to re-strategize. Abi? Then if you are looking at transport, you check if you can trek small and get a cheaper. You know, when fuel went up, nobody begged you to keep your car. That is when you knew that let me exercise. Is it so? it's- And some troublemakers that will not allow somebody to rest. You know, as soon as they see you say, okay, what happened? Where is your car? They say, I'm just trying to exercise. But this Cheers, sir. It deals with cost effectiveness, cost saving approaches. Huh? Let me say this. You see, it's normally very disturbing sometimes, particularly when you submit a budget for you to execute a plan for the institution. Ha! And the budget return to you so balkanized that you say, I cannot handle this. I recall my wife submitting a research proposal for 5 point something million. This IBR from TED Fund. Do you know what was approved for her? 1.9 million. And I said to her, I said, don't take it. So you don't become a thief. Just send it back to them, say, thank you. I will not be able to execute this research with this funding. Kindly keep your fund. Can you do that? You know you are going to find a way to use 1.9, Abi, and your result will not be correct. And if you now, can you imagine trying that in nursing? And then submission is published and people apply those submissions. In service delivery, that's why we're talking about strengthening it. So I said, please send it back to them and thank them for acknowledging it. You know what they did? They took it and they did apply for a long time. In the next tranche, they sent her about 4.25 million. And I said, now you have a responsibility. Everything you said in that proposal, you must. And you know, pharmacy is not story. It was to produce a drug. Because of me, my wife was sweaty. I said, be sweating. Otherwise, let's also return the. She ran from pillar to post. When the time was getting finished and she was not done, I said, write to them for extension of the time. You know, they will always approve extension that does have no cost implication. Have you seen that kind? It's very easy to approve it. Once there's no additional money requested, they will just say approved. But make sure you don't write again, and you will still write. Then they will repeat it again. Make sure you don't, as long as you are not putting to it. And she was able to produce that drug after 2 extension of time. And can I say to you, huh? what was left from that 4.2 million was less than 1 million. Now, I'm saying this to you because cost effectiveness, time saving, these are very critical issues when you are coming through the matter of strategic thinking and planning. And then we also said interrogate all the options. Is that okay? Please interrogate all the options for solving a problem. And can I say this as a general framework? If you are honest and transparent, your integrity is intact, be prepared to put your plans on the table for it to be looked at by others. Did you hear me, sirs? As an academic, quite frankly, put your plans on the table. Even if the chairman says, I want to see, here it is, sir, you can look at it. If you are right, whatever he says, you can explain and say, this is this, and this is this, and this is that. Are we together? But the moment you find yourself unwilling to be either checked, but even a colleague, sometimes you don't want to show a colleague something. Not to talk of when it comes to the management. No, that's not the best way to resolve things. First of all, interrogate all the available options so that every time they ask you, what of this option? This is that option. This is what it is. This is what it is. This is what it is. This is why this option is not feasible. What of that option? Yes, I've also checked it. This option is this, is that. This is the option that will give us the result we are looking for, except you are not interested in the result. And if it's me, and you tell me you are not interested in the result, I will tell you thank you. I will not be a part of the process. The this Vision 2020 for the federal government, my senior professor was one of those that they invited to discuss that document, how to put it down. He told us that when he got there, he was telling that this thing you are discussing will not work. And said the chairman told him, we are not looking for what will work. We are looking for a document to submit. And he just told them, thank you. And they left. You would think that they will not do it again. They continued without him. And they have a document. And I'm asking you, as people who have heard about the document, Chairman, you are in the forefront. Has it worked? Ma, there's no how you say you have not heard of that document. Huh. There are newer ones ahead of that one. Now, this will form part of the reason when we discuss mentoring. People like that, I was privileged to study under them, and they put a mentality in my mind and in my heart. That is why some of us we don't have plenty money. That's the truth. We don't have plenty money. In fact, sometimes when they hear about it, they will warn you. Say, don't call that man. No. Man will scatter your, it will scatter your plan. I say, no. You see, it will arrange your plan for you. I pick and choose where I go to because there are people who also believe in what you are doing. Do you get it? There are people who believe in what you are doing. Sorry about that. That one sounds too personal. Just say maybe let me let you see the reason why you need to interrogate every option so that you don't get annoyed when you submit to the chairman and say this I want to do the man say, Kai, guess this one no go do. Say, excuse me, sir. If you don't want to make you leave him, then your verse come out. It's not like that. You get it? First of all, you have a responsibility to convince the chairman that this is what we work. Do you get the point? That is your first responsibility. That this is what we work. Is that right? That is how to interrogate options. Let them ask you all the questions. And then there is what we call the SMART principle. The principle provides a useful guide in the pursuit of strategic planning and thinking. SMART here means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Performance should not be collected merely because management requires periodic reports. That is what they wanted with that Vision 2020. They just wanted a report. And sorry to say this, much of public issues, some people, you can dump a report in front of some people, they will not read it. They will just ask you, give me executive summary. And you give them the executive summary, that's what they are running with. And you see they are running in a different direction than what is in what you have given. So it is important for us to take note that it's not just to produce a report. Whatever is reported should help management to understand what is working and what is not working. Where a target is missed, the appropriate response is then to interrogate or investigate the reason why that target was missed. The problem may arise from inadequate funding. Can I emphasize that? Inadequate funding, which is one of the reasons why we are also going to be discussing how do you raise your internally generated revenue. Are we together? Some goals are not achieved because of inadequate funding. Now, the word inadequate doesn't mean zero funding, but it's not what. And so, this is one of the things we need to strengthen very, very seriously. Then, weak processes. Weak processes. And then we also have insufficient staffing. When you have fewer staff and you over labor them, there's what we call diminishing return. Stress will set in. In fact, we will be afraid to come to work. The work of 10 people is very easy to do in Nigeria. You land it on one person. Hmm? One person. And that one person has family. Abi? Sometimes family of 5, family of 6. You don't know. If I explain sometime the way work used to choke me, I used to be afraid. I say, God, I don't want to die before my time. Maybe I should retire voluntarily, frankly. Because work can kill you. You carry an institution's load. That is why you have gray hair. It's not because you are old. You don't understand book. Book can burn your head. So anything coming out will be burning. That's why. You look at yourself, look at your age, look at gray hair. You know your father, if you remember very well, before you saw gray hair, go and check how long it took. Then you look at us, we know near Oga age, but we can't walk fast. When he's in front now, you'll be running after him. but, but look, when you climb one staircase, you stop at the landing first. You rest. Say, praise God. Then you check up, check up, check up. Say, okay, let me try again. And you check your age. Sorry, I'm not saying we should copy Oyibo, but Oyibo they are very strategic. When I said tea break, there's a for it. You get it? It will reset your mind. Though, they know the type of tea they will take. Not be this our sachet Milo and something you are going to give us. No, you will soak that water together and heat it and drop Milo. Say we don't drink tea. Now I know with you. That one is called beverage. I'm warning you now, it's part of what you must stretch. Otherwise, your capacity will remove it. But please take note, right? What is working and what is not working, what target you have missed. And we said the problem may arise because we have inadequate funding, weak processes, insufficient staffing, unrealistic targets set, or external circumstances. The resulting outcome and lessons should then inform the next management decision. Okay? From institutional broad goals to specifics and measurable targets. Each KPI should have a clear definition, a baseline where available, a target, a responsible officer or unit, and a reporting period. Now, this is what is leading us to have that simulated organogram that may not represent what you have in a college. Is that okay? This is what is leading us to discuss the hierarchies, the levels of authorities that is simulated there. That does not represent your college. It's just to give you an idea. If you have organogram, that means you have to resuscitate it, reevaluate it, and connect it as it should be. Is that all right? Is that okay, sirs? All right. And then there should be a reporting period. Now, when some things are done, there should be a feedback. You report what you have done to the appropriate authority, and it will be evaluated, it will be discussed, and improvements will be suggested. Is that all right? Then we also have targets also need to be realistic. Certain targets that are impossible to achieve may discourage staff, while targets that are too low have a tendency to provide little uh, incentives for improvement. Period review of KPIs. KPIs should be reviewed from time to time. Then institutional priorities should also be reviewed. And an indicator that was useful several years ago may no longer capture what matters most at the present time and circumstances. Are we together? So that is the reason for review. A sound approach to KPI must combine regular measurement with periodic strategic review. When this is done properly, strategic planning becomes a living management process rather than a document prepared and subsequently forgotten. You have many plans in shelves. Sorry to say this, let me even leave institution. Even you as a person, go and check. You have a plan, but you will not follow it because you don't review it. You will say, it's because I don't get money. Then you can carry it, review it based on what is available. It helps you to be focused. Huh? Like our senior professor taught us that, look, make up your mind that number one, every quarter of the year, you must have one research paper published. Every quarter of you have 4 quarters in 1 year, right? Okay. It means you can have four. But if you have 2/4, it's average mark. But if it's research and you have 2/4, let me tell you, it's 75%. Because it's not only time consuming, it's cost implicating. Can I say to you, gentlemen, it was that singular thought that enabled me to gather the papers that qualified me by the grace of God to become professor. Some people stood up and said, in a year, by the grace of God, we'll do 8. I said to Okario, may you land safely. And at the end of the year, not even half, you can review plans, right? Say, look, now I don't have money, my responsibility have increased, so to say. Abi, the college is bearing much on me. Let me see if I can do, even if it's only one. Because your present circumstance can make you review any target you have set. Are we together? You know, in an organization, they tell you, depending on availability of funds, the CEOs knows how to write that comment. KI view, in view of paucity of funds. If you see the file, it's high like this. And unfortunately, sometimes, even when the funds are coming, funds have never been enough. I've never seen where they say funds are enough. It's always keep prioritizing. Abi, keep prioritizing. It's the same thing, the same process, both for you as an individual and then as an institution. Okay. Now, this is how I simulated uh, your institutional mandate and goal setting frameworks with KPIs. You have done very well, madam. Thank you very much. Even my body is crying for tea break. So it's a good announcement. So now, this 13 uh, plans, action plans, goals, objectives, or programs are simulated absolutely from my own thinking. Are we together? It can guide you in checking what you have set for yourself already and reviewing it. For instance, I feel that we should be strategic enough to produce world class nursing science graduates with competitive edge as far as the labor market is concerned. World class means world class. Anywhere you push them, anywhere you send them. And it begins with our psychological thinking, resetting of our mind, refocusing ourselves. And it will surprise you that if you produce one world class student, your capacity itself will change, your condition itself can change. If I tell you how much comes to me from the personal attention I've paid to my students, you will not believe it. You will find it difficult. I was sitting down one day, I was very in my house. One of them just called me from UK, say, I have this 200 pounds. I say, send it now, now. Now listen, now listen to the story behind it. I didn't pray, I just told you, send it. Now, listen to the story behind it. He said, I remembered what you did when I was doing my project. I supervised this undergraduate project. The personal sacrifices I made. Now, I told that boy that, look, you are crying now, but what I'm asking you to do, when you go out there, you are going to say it will place you even above those who are there. Now, in their set, there was one student who went to the UK to do masters. The little research skills we taught them here, their own supervisor didn't understand them. So the students sent it to a fellow graduate. He said, please, I don't have time. Can you help me just do this? My supervisor does not understand it. That's the definition of world class. Are you getting what And now 200 pounds multiplied by how much now? 2,000? 2,000? 2,000 naira. Okay, let me hear your sound again. Uh,
It's over 200.
did you hear him? When I changed, it was 256,000 naira. I stood up to call my wife, come here. And she was food dragging food. I said, move fast. I said, take this. I'm going to transfer to you now. I won't tell you the amount I transferred. I know you are waiting for me to say how much I transferred, but I transferred something. When I did that transfer, the quantity and the quality of what they served me that night changed. What are you talking about? you know, when we are talking something like this, for you, it's like they are setting you up. I'm just telling you something. The following day, I wore my dress very well, carried my card. I'll be packed for 2 days because I couldn't afford fuel. Just went and put fuel. Say, put on 50,000. The man looked at me and said, put it. I brought out my ATM card. I gave him, he drew the money. I said, the tank was almost full. I was so happy because during that terrible fuel something, it's like you want to hold your fuel gauge, Abi, for you not to go down. So I'm only saying this for you to know that you see, this simulation is to put us to work, to strengthen that good thing you have been doing. I don't know when it's going to be your turn, but the day it's your turn, you may shout like me. Even if you have retired, I cannot tell you many stories of my colleagues that many of them that went to Canada, it was their student. They say, oh, yeah, Oga, we have suffered enough. Can you come and join us here? I'm not exaggerating. And there's nobody who goes abroad more than nurses as of today. True of us. That's why they are rushing at your school. They just want you to do something for them. They carry the paper and run away. This is the basis for setting these goals. To advance the frontier of research in nursing sciences with outcomes capable of leveraging the health and economic development of the state and the nation. To become the domain of global standard in high quality teaching and learning in nursing science. Provide diversified manpower to meet private and public health sector needs in the state and the nation. Create and maintain a suitable linkage with relevant health institutions, nursing regulatory bodies, private and public health sector practitioners and bodies to publish nursing science based research journals, eh? Nursing science based research journal in your college, run by you. Look at the experience here now. Am I not seeing them? Nursing science based research journals. You will see how they will look for it. Some of you are so meticulous that if you are in charge of a journal, you can cross every T and dot every I and ask questions that will force men to do what we call properly as research. And some of you, sorry to say this, is not an insult, sleeping giants. Something else is here to challenge your capacity inside of you to bring it out. Mhm. I'm telling you, sorry, what do we do in university? Is it not book? What do you do in nursing college? It's book. This head, is it too? You see, your own is even final than this, master, even more relaxed. It's even more relaxed than this. So that is the essence of setting these goals. Huh? Then to provide a safe teaching and learning environment that will inspire quality scholarship in nursing sciences. Ensure a sustained integrated relationship with prospective and users of research outputs to promote useful community service. Create relevant and useful academic programs to meet high level and middle manpower needs in the state. Now, that middle manpower, we're going to explain it much later. I was saying that look, when we say allied health services, right? You see, people who are in service, who cannot come out and say, okay, let me come and be a registered nurse. You have many programs you can arrange for them, cut out from your curriculum, and you create certificates around it, and they certify you in the regulatory council once you have the manpower, and space will be opened up. All this while you are shouting broke, 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 you know, go broke again. No, I'm just telling you, and you are going to produce quality manpower for the system. Thank you. Thank you very much for the next.
I'm not sure we're doing justice to. So I'm glad that he had checked what